2 more days of a temporary truce in Gaza as a 4th round of hostages is still set to be freed by Hamas today. That is, if an apparent holdup to the process doesn't continue. Sources telling ABC News that problems with the names on today's list may be preventing any releases right now. 58 hostages have already been swapped for 117 Palestinian prisoners since that truce began. UNICEF spokesperson James Elder traveled into northern Gaza with an aid convoy and is now in southern Gaza to tell us more about what he saw and still plans to do. James joins me now, where he is able to get internet service for the first time in a while so he can connect with us. James, I just want to get right to the exclusive video that you've agreed to share with us. We're very grateful for that. Tell us exactly where you were within this video that you shot, the hospital that you went to, and how you were able to help.
Yeah, Kira, hi there. Look, it was a difficult convoy. They all are, but these UNICEF supplies are genuinely life-saving. This was emergency kits, medical kits for pregnant women. Women are giving birth in a war zone. I met several mums who had given birth in the last few weeks and had been hiding out in churches, in hospitals, and had not yet seen their husbands again. Their fathers had not seen children. So it was a critical convoy. It was to the north in Gaza City. The devastation, Kira, is almost unlike anything I've seen. The apartment blocks, one after the other, the cars thrown across, churches, mosques, and just the stress, Kira, the stress on people's faces, this sense of sorrow and anxiety taking root in the people of Gaza. So it was a very difficult convoy, but it's exactly what we're doing right now. It's exactly the aid that's needed right now: water, food, medical supplies. It's why this extension of a couple of days is so critical, and to be honest, so critical that it keeps and keeps being extended.
Well, and I know in addition to the pictures there that you brought into us of the convoy and the people on the street, you did send in images from the hospital of the babies in particular. I don't know if we've got those geared up and ready to go. Here we go. You actually were able to talk with these families, see the babies, meet the mothers, the relatives. Describe to me where you are, what hospital this is, and what exactly you observed, James.
Yeah, that's pretty harrowing scenes. That's, Kira, these are moments, even with a ceasefire, there's just been so many children trapped in other hospitals, unable to get to places. I've seen children where I am here coming down in a bus, having had 3 days on a bus without help, parts of limbs missing getting on that bus. You know, the smell of decomposing limbs, and children with horrendous burns in shock for 3 days. Those images are unfortunately everywhere. What you were seeing there in that hospital was doctors having to make decisions on which children they'd be able to operate on and which they would not, based on them working 24/7, based on supplies, based on the critical situation of these boys and girls. So that war zone, unfortunately, continues because of the severity of attacks that went on for 6 or 7 weeks. So they're very difficult places to be. They ring out with cries of mothers and cries of children. The doctors, the nurses, my heart goes out there. The most extraordinary professionals I think I've seen.
Do you think this temporary truce for another 2 days is enough?
No, there's just no way. I mean, it would be callous and cold to think that the world would have a few days truce and finally allow organisations like UNICEF to get the most essential aid to stop disease outbreak, to help children who are cold right now. It's getting cold, and then to go back to these attacks. Yeah, the idea that the destruction of Gaza and the killing of children is possibly going to bring peace to the region is of course oxymoronic. And so today's an amazing day. Another one. We get another one tomorrow. More Israeli children get to go home. More families in Israel. Their torment finally over. We need all those hostages free, all of them. But then when that's happened, the ceasefire has to continue. We cannot in all good conscience return to the idea and think in some way that continued attacks, continued polarization, anger, frustration can possibly be good for this generation of Palestinian and Israeli children.
You know, you've been one of the rare individuals to be allowed into this area. I know you've faced a lot of obstacles trying to get aid in to where it's needed the most. Just sort of describe the struggles you've been dealing with to even get here.
Look, it's really difficult. It's tense, obviously. You know, even on the night I came in before the ceasefire ended, there was shelling nearby. You know, colleagues in an early morning meeting and diving under a desk. And then once, of course, you're in, my role is just to go out and listen, just to listen to people's stories, and then to understand where we most need aid, and just to see the anxiety and stress across people's faces. You know, dignified families who will do anything to look after one another and to bring them in to support and to support injured people. But they were losing that chance, losing that hope. You know, just this evening I was in a camp and I, by pure chance, ran into a 21-year-old young woman who was incredibly articulate and passionate. Kira, she's 5 years into becoming a doctor. That's now over. I think she's probably been studying 3 hours a night since she was 10. She's one of these children that's wanted to be a doctor forever. She said this year was her year of doing practice work. She bought her stethoscope, she bought her gown. She said, James, but I don't want to be a doctor that just buries people. I want to help people. You know, why has the world, in her words, why has the world forgotten what our dreams are? And I think that's a message we have to share. I think people around the world find an intrinsic connection and value in children. If we lose that, if we turn away from that right now, you know, even though the world's been warned of how bad this can be, if we say never again and then we watch this, then you know, it's a stain on our conscience.
James, I've talked to you in many war zones, and clearly the situation is weighing heavily on your heart. I hope we can keep talking about it and bringing attention to it. UNICEF spokesperson James Elder. James, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.